Hello, my name is Steve Olson. I'm the Manager of Training Services for Mesa. In this video, I'd like to show part one of using ReCap to do an as-built verification on an inventor model. This portion of the video is going to focus on getting the right coordinate system in the ReCap point cloud. The first step is going to be to identify what the dimensions are going to be, or the coordinates are going to be for our model. And I'm going to choose to use the four corners of this model. And so ReCap will need to know that in meters. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the inspect command and use the measure and turn on the dual units of meter. So now when I say, oh, I don't know, from this corner to this corner over here, I'm going to get that it is 1.857 meters. And then I also want to get to the back here. So I'll restart this and go from this corner to this corner. And now you'll see that I get 4.089 meters. I'll use those values in ReCap when I set up or use my coordinates. So now I'm over to the ReCap 360 site that I can start building my project. I've already done it once for the front. And if you were reading the blog post, I talked about why I'm going to do it front and back, how this decal on the tank ends up causing some oddities in terms of confusing ReCap as to what's the front and the back of the tank. So here I'm going to go ahead and create a brand new 3D project. I need to add my photos. So now that I have, I've got my photos here, I'm just going to do a Control A, drag and drop those onto that target. It's going to start bringing those photos in. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the survey settings and I'm going to put the coordinates in on certain photos. So you can see here I'm going to be able to put certain photos together and identify those key points and give those a coordinate on that model. So I'm actually going to pick, say, this one right here would actually be fairly decent. Oops, not that one. Let me go back and get a different photo. This one here looks like a good photo to use. So I'm going to zoom in, find that corner on this channel. And here I can put in a coordinate. So I'm going to say this is my 0, 0, 0 point. Now I'm going to go over to the other corner. I'm going to say that this corner over here is at 1.857, and then 0 for the Y and 0 for the Z. And now that I have that, I can find another photo and try to identify those 2 points in a different photo. This one here looks like I can probably find those objects here. So zoom in, find that corner in this photo. Tell it I want to find point number 1. Now I'm going to find a different photo to find point number 3. And kind of scroll down here and try to find something that would show the back of this structure, this equipment. This photo right here should look pretty good. So now I'm going to tell it I want to find a whole nother point. Kind of here, and you can see it's still trying to use number 1. If I kind of just pick anywhere for number 1 and just delete that point right away, it'll let me start identifying a number 3. So I'm going to come tighten here, number 3. In this case, we're going to use the 1.857 for the X, 0 for the Y, and the Z, I'm actually going to use negative 4.089. to make sure I have this oriented in space the way that I want. So now I can find a different photo over here and try to identify points 3 and 4. Actually, I haven't identified point 4 yet, so let me kind of zoom out. Point 4 will be this corner. And the coordinate here, this coordinate's going to be 0, 0, 0, and then negative 4.089. So now that I have my coordinates set up, I just have to find those points in the photos or in several different photos. Okay, I actually paused the recording while I got several points identified in each of these. So now I'm going to go to my settings. And here I can give this a project name. I'm going to call this tank back origin. I'll set up my output. I'll go to Ultra. I'll turn the smart cropping on, turn the texturing on. And then for the outputs, I typically like to use an RCS and an RCM. So now at this point I can hit create and it'll launch and it'll begin creating my point cloud.